everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. Elliot here with a brand new TV review, and as you can see from the title of this video, this is a review for Season 3 of 13 Reasons Why. Now, if you've seen my previous TV reviews, I definitely dive into the spoilers, so you have been warned. This is a spoiler-filled review for the newest season of 13 Reasons Why. So if you haven't seen the season, check it out, come back, check out this video, comment below, and join the conversation. But of course, if you have seen the season, this review is just for you, and I would love to know your comments, your thoughts on this latest season of 13 Reasons Why. So again, jump into this review here. I'm going to touch on the positives, the negatives, kind of talk about some character moments and things I liked, I didn't like, and all that fun stuff. But before we do that, I want to thank all those that are watching this video. Definitely give the video a thumbs up. Again, comment below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So as we know, we just got this new season this past Friday. Today's Wednesday and I'm recording this video. So the 23rd of August, the new season dropped, and the weekend was kind of busy, so I kind of took Monday, Tuesday, and today to finish it up. So about 3 days to finish 13 episodes, 13 hours of 13 Reasons Why. A lot of stuff going on these last few days, but kind of starting off with the positives. You know, I'll say as a watcher, as a viewer of the show, I really enjoyed season 1. I thought it was well crafted, well done. It was well directed on each episode. The story was very intriguing, very interesting, and I always will commend this show on Netflix for having the bravery to talk about these kind of the topics that a lot of people don't like to touch on, which is depression, suicide, the rape stuff that we get in the show, homophobia, all the different topics the show brings up. I really applaud Netflix and the creators of 13 Reasons Why of bringing this to the attention, because what it does is it creates dialogue, and hopefully it evokes change in the community for the better and the positive. So I really enjoy season 1. Season 2, not so much. I thought it took a step back. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I believe season 1 was based on a book, and they had some source material and obviously some creative rights to kind of bring in some new things to season 1. But season 2, I don't think they based it off anything. It was just more or less based on what happened in season 1 and addressing everything that happened to Hannah in the trial with Bryce, and Clay having the hallucinations of Hannah, and the recovery of Alex after what he did, tried to commit suicide and by shooting himself in season 1. Everything with Jessica and Justin and Zach and all that. So I thought season 2 was just a little bit too much all over the place. And again, the trial with Bryce and the results of that, and then obviously the finale of season 2, we got the whole the dance, and we had Tyler with the gun situation, and that leads into what we got with this season, which it picks up after the events of what Tyler was going to do, which was essentially take out everyone in the school, everyone that did him wrong, and then we're going to follow up with everything that we got with that. But the big hook, when I saw the trailer, so going into season 3, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of season 2, so I was just like, I knew it was a season 3 coming out, but when the trailer came out, it kind of caught me by surprise, because the big hook for me, and probably for you as well, was who killed Bryce. And I'm a sucker for whodunit type of stories, the thriller aspect, mystery aspect. So that was really what caught me and interested me and piqued my interest for season 3. So now actually going into the actual review of this video. So some positives. Again, I will always commend Netflix and the creators of the show of talking about the topics of, again, kids and not just kids, but obviously the show focuses on high schools, but adults, kids, teenagers, all the different genders and things of that nature. This show always does, in my eyes. I love that it brings the topic, the situations, these bad situations to the front of the audience, and it creates dialogue. So I did enjoy the different themes that we got in this season, which was a big two pivotal characters in the season. Tyler. How do you, as far as Clay and all the people involved, will try to help Tyler after he was going to do a thing that is just too seen too much in today's culture with it, which is the mass shootings. That we saw Tyler was going to do after the dance, and obviously it prevented him from doing that. So we had to redeem Tyler after the situation and dealing with him. And then the big thing that we also got with the season was, which I didn't expect the season to do, which was redeem Bryce and kind of humanize Bryce to the audience and explain to us that he didn't deserve to die. And we'll get into all of that. So I do appreciate the show talking about, redeeming factors of people that can essentially do horrible things, as we know Bryce doing what he did with Hannah and what he did to all the girls in the high school, and in particularly, what he did with Jessica. So handling things of that nature. And then obviously Tyler, I think it is important that our culture does have a second chance mindset and give people, second chance. So I appreciate them doing that, because it's something that in our culture, when you do something bad, and depending on what you do, obviously, some people accept people back and other people don't. And they always see them as that negative issue or the negative incident they were involved in. So I appreciate that particular theme. Obviously, I really enjoyed the storyline that we got with Jessica in the season, the survivor aspect. I really enjoyed that moment towards the end of the season with her and Tyler and the other people in the crowd standing up and Justin admitting to the thing, the incident that took place when he was a younger child, I believe 5, he said, with his uncle, and then some of the stuff he did when he was in the streets. So I appreciate that aspect, the survivor aspect of the show, which is very important for anyone to see that, that you're not, when you go through trauma like rape and being abused and being and the topics that we get in the show, it's always good to know that you have you can look at the situation and become a stronger person and support other people that have gone through that. So I really enjoyed that aspect. And again, even the show addresses people that necessarily don't speak up because it's so heartbreaking to them, and it's so much to deal with. And I like that aspect, that it is not, you don't have to come up right now, but when you're ready to talk about it, we're here to help you out. So I love that message. Other things that I thought were done pretty well was the relationship with Clay and Ani. From some parts of the show, Ani was kind of the 2.0 Hannah in a sense, not really Hannah as far as characteristics and things of that nature. But I kind of like their back and forth at times, and other times I didn't. But I kind of like that new aspect. That was from her point of view. She didn't really know these people. She's come into this situation with Hannah and Bryce, and her point of view of Bryce and how she viewed him. And she didn't really know. She heard of the actions, but she didn't see the man behind the actions when he was doing that. So that was an interesting aspect. I did kind of like the things that we did get with Tyler and him and Clay, and how he kind of redeemed himself, and which was an interesting topic that I would love to know you all thoughts on this, on what Tyler was going to do and ultimately didn't do. How did you feel about that? How they handled that situation? For me, I thought it was done for the most part. I thought it was done well. Again, I like the Jessica aspect. There were some characters that didn't really get that much to do in certain aspects of the season. Like we got Zach and the whole Chloe situation at the beginning of the season. Then he didn't get brought back into the end of the season with the whole Bryce situation, what he did to Bryce, and ultimately breaking his legs, breaking his arms, and beating him and leaving him, not necessarily for dead, but just leaving him at a very bad position. So Zach's storyline, again, with him and Chloe, will be interesting to see what they do with season 4, because they've already been announced to do the season 4. Kind of going through the list here. Clay, again, he's an interesting character. He's not my favorite character of the show. I really don't have a favorite character per se. I just enjoy somewhat the narrative and the different characters interacting with each other, but I don't necessarily have a one. Like I know some people love Clay, and again, I like the actor, but Clay's character arc this season was pretty all over the place. Again, we know the Clay-isms, if you want to call it that, of him, jumping to conclusions and being stubborn and forcing people to do things they might not want to do or comfortable doing. So Clay was kind of hit or miss for me this season. I did enjoy the stuff that we got with Tony, his family, and everything that went on with that, and his relationship continuing to grow with Caleb, and things that we got there. Again, I mentioned Jessica. Justin, he was a character that I just thought was, okay, so you guys are just going to let him be a crackhead or be a junkie, I should say, and do heroin. I didn't like that story. I didn't like much of anything that we got with Justin, other than him coming to Jessica and telling him his story. Again, that was a nice moment, but for the most part, Justin didn't really work for me. We got the big reveal with Alex that he was the one that ultimately pushed Bryce off of the little pier there, and again, he was one of those characters that popped in and out of the season, but then ultimately the last couple episodes it kind of revealed, like I said, he was the one that killed him, and Jessica was right there and saw that. And again, him with the steroids and his dad ultimately siding with him and the decision he made. We got more with Mrs. Walker, and her story arc was okay. And again, there was this character. I'm just looking at the list of characters here. Monty's a big one. I didn't think that they handled that character too well, because again, they were all about redeeming characters, but then I felt like the way that they let his character just die in prison was just kind of an easy scapegoat. And again, some characters that we got from previous season that we didn't see that much of. We got some new characters I had mentioned with Ani, and the gentleman that hooked up with Monty and spent the night with him that one time. And we got the new football player, this, that, and the other. So again, the Jessica stuff, the Tyler stuff, the back and forth with Clay and Ani, and again, the themes that this show brings to light, I really appreciate it. But there were a lot of negatives for me. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't the biggest fan of season 3, 10 minutes into this video, and I can spend another 20 minutes talking about the negatives. But all in all, I just didn't understand where the creators were going with this show for the season 3. What I mean, there were so many. Again, I appreciate them touching on these topics, but I thought that there was just so many main topics and so many threads and themes. They just didn't know where to go with it. Again, you got stuff dealing with Ice, with Tony. You got stuff with Monty. You got stuff with the Bryce and Ani and Clay, and there's so many storylines that just ultimately didn't land for me. And I don't know what the message was within the season. It's just like, so, or is the message, you do whatever it takes to cover up for your friends? Like, and they're the ones that dictate who's a bad guy, who deserves to live and deserves to spend their life in jail, and ultimately is killed in prison for something that Monty should have went to jail for what he did to Tyler. But then them putting on the stuff that they said that he did, knowing that Alex was the one that killed Bryce, and obviously with season 4, I expect them to pick up on that. Obviously, we saw the fisherman picking up the guns. Obviously, we saw Monty's love interest towards the end of the season kind of come up to Ani and say that wasn't right. So I imagine he'll come back on the forefront. So I just didn't like where the season ended. And ultimately, there were 1 or 2 episodes that really stood out to me. Again, I love the Survivor episode. I kind of love, the beginnings of where we're trying to figure out who did it. But most of the episodes were repetitive. Clay and Ani would suspect someone to be the killer, and they spent the whole episode figuring out that it wasn't them, and then it just rinse, recycle, repeat for the most of the season. And again, I just don't know how I feel about the message of what they were saying about Bryce, of giving him this humanity side of him. Yes, he's a human being, but I don't feel like that particular storyline was earned, where we're supposed to feel bad for this character that has done nothing but evil things. And let's be honest, if it wasn't because of the trial and him being called out, he would have still been doing the things that he did. And ultimately, before he died, saying the things that he said to Alex, he's going to ruin Zach's career and gonna, do this, that, and the third to him. So, I mean, all that stuff they did with Ani, does it really matter? Because ultimately, he's just a bad guy. Not saying he deserved to die by any means, but I just don't get what they were doing with the Bryce character. And again, the hook for me that made me watch the next episode is who did it? Who actually did kill Bryce? And again, when we get that final moment in the last episode, you figure out it was Alex and Jessica was there. But all in all, I just thought this season was very underwhelming. Again, I appreciate the themes and the topics, but I thought it was just too many cooks in the kitchen, too many storylines going on, and they just couldn't focus on one particular storyline through the through line. Again, it was who killed Bryce, but there was just so many other things that just bogged down the season. So many filler episodes and just things that I personally did not care for. And again, characters that I can care less about. And I think it comes down to me. I just don't have a go-to character that I can relate to in the show, because at the end of the day, these kids are not good kids. They're the ones pointing the finger at this person doing that, but then they're not looking at themselves by ultimately siding with a murderer in Alex. So again, I'm just kind of confused. Maybe season 4, we're kind of amend all the stuff that we got with season 3, but again, that was just kind of my rant there, if you want to call it that. I wasn't the biggest fan of season 3, but again, I would love to know what you all thought of season 3 of 13 Reasons Why. What did you love about it? Again, I'm not taking away anything that you might have taken from this season. Again, touching on topics of being in the closet, the survivor aspect, the redeeming of a character and a person, and all the different things, the stuff that we got with Tony. I appreciate those things, but I just thought it was just a mess and it wasn't executed well. So let me know what you thought of season 3. Are you excited for season 4? What do you hope to see from season 4? Like and share this video. Again, comment below, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. We got some new reviews on our channel now, from Brittany Runs a Marathon, Ready or Not. It's coming out next week, so definitely expect a review for that. We got some new trailer reactions coming or on our channel now, and we will be doing an unboxing video here in the next coming weeks for John Wick and some other big releases that I'm excited for, so definitely hit that notification bell. Thank you all for watching this review, and we will see you on the next video.